Didn't want a high chair, Terry?
No,
It's for me.
They have to take the encyclopedias out of the police car after you get through driving?
Between Jim and Wade.
A couple weeks in, I don't have a date, but hopefully.
Yeah, they don't send out Sears catalogs anymore.
yeah, it looks nice out there.
They just take one
You
that's
guys
second.
finally calmed down after they've seen it. They tested it first. Well,
Yeah, I know.
I said, we got direction too. We'll do it.
Exactly. Well, it worked out, I think.
Yeah.
They were mostly done by the time.
No, he
Well,
finished.
they come back as soon as
Yeah.
I texted them, said, we're done, and
They came back.
yeah, they were out there today.
Okay, she deposited.
Mhm. They said, boy, it's nice, thanks. Well,
You're welcome.
yeah,
About as quick as the, their short-term move of the services you're ever gonna do.
yeah.
You've been here multiple times and I keep forgetting to bring this over, but we got her done.
Now, if anybody wants to look at all these, they're right over here.
That is the credit card payments from January to June. We had that interface program between the credit card company and our software so that we could find all of those by searching. Where in the past we
Is
could
that
look
what the
at the
entire
credit card
thing?
company.
You mentioned it, but.
So it's taken this long to get that program up and running, and we purchased it back in the end of the world. But they took them that long, the gal that was working on it, they said,
Oh,
thank you or whatever, so
mhm.
Sydney's been working like crazy, you know, like encouraged transfer in, and it works fabulous.
Well, they will anyway, they're really tall, but, you know, the
So if you can sign
determination
both of those
says-
sheets showing that the second one is all of the credit card transactions January to June. One MasterCard.
Is this over the lesson?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you expecting? We've got some ground stuff to read.
Mayor wants to call in for the air.
Something there.
Yeah.
that's, yep,
It's in the same.
same area,
project.
yeah, they wanna do 86, so. The,
Higher than 499 feet.
yeah, they wanna be 590 feet, so, it's not all of them, but basically, anybody that's not doing it using a GPS approach, many of those will be a hazard to them.
Because the blades are higher than. the
Yep,
lights.
and it's, they're, you can tell what they did, you know, they kinda stayed out of the way a little bit, but not all the way out of the
They
way.
did it on purpose.
So they're, you know, not all were problems, but, you know, they knew where the line was, you could see the line. So you could tell that they were trying, but, you know,
Wow.
not that the city can do anything about it, but, you know, it's not a great thing over here.
Right.
It's,
And, you know, those guys that hit that window, they were told when they left Chamberlain not to fly because it was too foggy.
yep,
I had heard that they all been drinking, including the pilot, and
the,
I don't know if that's true.
the thing about the wind towers is the blades are 100 feet. So
Above
you
the
got,
top.
yeah, so you got your top, but then there's the lake, but you got wind towers that, you know, you got a 100-foot radius.
Yeah.
You know, going on top of it, so, yeah, you can light them all you want, but they're still.
Well, and I don't suspect there's any way that they put a light in the
Blades, yeah, I don't know.
And I would think they could, like anyone else.
Yep,
Put them on bike wheels.
yep, so, but, not that the city can really do anything about it, but, it's something that's outside the jurisdiction, but it's.
Sure.
Way out there.
Can't say you didn't try it.
Well,
7 o'clock, we'll bring the meeting to order, start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second,
Approval in a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Minutes found on pages 1 through 3. Entertain a motion to approve or reject.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Anyone have anything to mention, say, talk about that's not on public, or not on the agenda?
I was wondering if Jim would like to tell us what him and Mary were talking about, with the police department. So that way everybody else can hear about it too. You, Jim? Well, you two are on the committee, right?
What's that?
Are you on the police committee?
Yeah.
So you guys, police met with the sheriff today?
We met with the sheriff, the two of our police officers, a couple of the commissioners, and the police committee or whatever, and discussed either countywide or joint forces or whatever, you know, and no conclusions was coming. We're still in the talking stage, I guess you want to say.
But so the people know that something is, you are talking, you're working on solutions for this.
Right. It was just what solutions we can come together and do, and who can help who, and that kind of deal. You know, there's no outcome whatsoever. It was just,
Informational.
yeah.
We'll move on. Department head reports, pages 4 through 8. Any questions, comments for the department heads? Did you get those culverts put in at Stobbs, Ron?
I'm gonna go tomorrow, hopefully get them in tomorrow.
So did you plan that like yesterday, so it'll rain tomorrow?
Well, this will be day 3, so yeah, hopefully it will rain us out, but, so hopefully tomorrow we can get started. With that particular situation, we're gonna have to put like a flowable fill, which if water tops the culverts, it isn't as likely to wash them out. Because it will top them, we know that, where they're gonna go. So it's like a slurry concrete, but yet it isn't like you could dig through it I don't know how to explain it. It's almost looks like a really soupy chalk, but when it kind of sets up, it's kind of like concrete, like a soft concrete kind of thing. So hopefully we'll get that in tomorrow, and then we'll be done with that whole entire project, other than maybe mowing in the fall, or maybe tree here and there in the years to come. Right now, there's no way to spray some of them trees because they're in water. I don't know what you can spray on a tree to kill a tree, yet be in water. There may be something out there, but I'm not familiar with it, so I could probably talk to maybe Andy Cannon or John Fanny or something, and see if there's something we can do. That was the biggest problem, other than the one dam that was built as a drive over thing, and that culvert failing was the biggest problem on the east side of town. There's no doubt about it. And the Durapatcher, we got most Durapatching stuff done, which is that pink rock, which squirts the oil in the rock and it mixes. And it ran out of oil right here and needed to go 30 more feet. But the county guys are using it now. I thought if they had a day where they couldn't use it for whatever reason, maybe we could go steal it from them and finish that up. So,
Works good.
does. It seems slow,
Hello,
and then when you get done at the end of the day.
Ron? Ron, are you there?
Hello?
Yep. You're on speaker now.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, I can hear you.
You got any questions for the department heads?
Where are you?
Department head reports. Ron,
Yeah,
we're on the department head reports.
you're on the department head report?
Yeah, you got anything?
Okay, when that, the only thing I want to comment on is that one with those wind charger towers.
Okay, that'll be coming up next.
I say the only one that I want to talk about is that wind charger tower one
okay.
with Helms.
Okay, with that, we'll move on to new business, which is the Helms
Are
FAA.
you about through that?
Yep, we're right there.
Okay, you want me to start talking about it?
Do you want to listen to what Brooke has to say first?
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Brooke Edgar. I work at Helms and Associates. And Shayla shared with me a notice she got in the paper. She got a notice about some airspace determinations here recently going up regarding some wind towers. So the proposal is that there are 86 wind turbines and 3 MET towers, which are meteorological evaluation towers going up southeast of the airport. What the notice was about is that the FAA has reviewed all of these proposed wind towers and MET towers, and that at least some of them are potentially having an effect on aeronautical operations. So the big thing in their determination is that at a height greater than 499 feet above ground level, the proposed wind farm would extend into the airspace normally used on VFR, which is visual flight rules. So if a pilot is flying into the airport and they're not using their GPS approach, which happens all the time, a lot of pilots are using their GPS approaches, which you guys have a very good approach into your airfield, but eggs, pilots, and many, just everyday flyers don't use those, so they go off of visual flight rules. It states that the towers are within 2 miles of those routes that are identified in the FAA guidance. So they're basically telling us that it's going to have an adverse effect on visual flight aviation in your area. I did go look, and I just put a few of them into kind of Google Earth just for information. You can tell that they knew exactly where the runway path is because the towers are outside of the runway path. It's not exactly in line with the runway. If you drew a line out, it's 5 or 6 miles outside. So they're not directly in line with your runway, but they're within 5 miles of at least 2 to 5 miles of where someone's probably flying to get to your airport. As part of receiving grants from the Airport Improvement Program, the city signs grant assurances, and I wanted to point out that one of your grant assurances is for hazard removal and mitigation. I wrote this in that draft letter, just stating that the city will do everything in their power to try and prevent hazards from happening at the airport. Now, I understand that it's really outside of your jurisdiction to be able to do anything about these, but that's why I put this letter together. Obviously, you guys can change it, do whatever you want, but it's something that isn't going to be great. At least some of these aren't going to be great for the airport. It's going to be a hazard to air navigation and making your airport less safe. Terry and I were just talking. It's a busy airport this time of year. Everybody's in and out of it, and having a hazard like this, we all know what happened several years ago. It's not out of the possibility of accidents happening, and when you've got a wind tower, those blades are about 100 feet long. So you've got the base where the light is, but then you've got 100-foot blades spinning around. So, the light is only as good as roughly 100 feet within those towers. So I'm here, I just wanted to kind of give you a quick overview, answer your questions, give you this draft letter. I would happily, make any changes, help you guys submit that to the airspace study, so it's, public record that the city is not in support of these if they're gonna be a hazard to air navigation. In the letter, I basically said that, the city would be in support of it if it is if it isn't a hazard, but, that, like I said, draft letter, just something to put in front of you guys to discuss and help you along with this process. The opportunity to comment ends August 11th, so that's why we're here. The other thing is typically the county would give approval for these, so that's something that, if you guys ever wanted to go to county commission, they have a meeting tomorrow, it's not on their agenda or anything, but if you guys wanted to go to county commission, myself or anybody from our office would happily go with you or assist in writing a letter, or however you wanted to do that, to express your concerns to the commission as well.
You say it's not on their agenda?
Not for tomorrow. Nope, I talked to the auditor and he said that he would make a note of it if anyone wanted to come tomorrow. And the public, the public portion of it, at least put it in front of the commissioners so they understand what's going on and so they understand that it is a potential safety hazard for your airport. So I'd be happy to come if anyone has any interest or availability to go too. And to the next one, or whatever you guys need from us.
Ron missed most of that because my system shut off for some reason, so.
Are you back, Ron?
Well, the only thing I got to say about that is, I'm not very enthused about okaying something that's built above or higher than what the FAA allows.
So the FAA, in this determination, when this airspace study that they did, it's open for public notice right now. When the FAA does an airspace study, they basically will come back with a determination that it is a hazard to airspace or it's not. After this comment period closes, that's what will happen. Now, it's up to the authority, whoever is the authority giving permission for these to happen, to actually take note of that and use that. FAA is not an authority to stop things from happening. They give you your guidance, they lock the city in with their grant assurances.
They don't have the authority to stop it.
Correct.
Do we?
The county, I believe, would be who is giving permission. The city, it's more than 3 miles outside the city limits, so I doubt that the city has any.
The county commissioner tomorrow.
I will if you or someone would like to go with me. I think it would have more power if there's city representation with me.
Oh, okay.
Don't you?
Yes.
Well, that's my only concern about it, because I don't want to be responsible for building something up down there that killed somebody.
Well, and the city really doesn't have a whole lot of leg to stand on being outside of city limits and outside of your zoning jurisdiction, but writing a letter to the public notice, at least it's on record that the city's against something that's gonna be a safety hazard to the airport. Not saying that you have to be against the project, just against something that's gonna be a safety hazard to your airport and obstruction to air navigation. So, if they're outside of that zone or lowered 91 feet, then it's hard to argue against something like that. But that's why I'm here. I wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of what's going on and help you through the process and try and keep you guys, in line with your grant assurances and understanding what's going on. I agree, Ron. Comments, concerns about that letter?
I'll try to get a hold of you tomorrow. So you've been there around for a while?
Yes.
Okay, get over with tomorrow.
Sounds good, Ron.
Will that work?
Absolutely. Shayla's got my cell phone number if you don't have it.
But that's my only concern with it.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
So the FAA still has to approve this plan.
Yes.
What's that?
Yes. However, just because they approve or disapprove it, the approval authority has to come from the county that it's in to allow that these wind towers to get put in. So if the county doesn't know that they're supposed to have something like this, it could get overlooked. Just like cities, if there was a new water tower being put in, Shayla would call us and we'd go through the study, or if there's a building being put out near the airport, Shayla or Terry calls us and we do the study so that we make sure that it's not of concern. Grain bins, anything like
I'll
that.
get over to somebody tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks, Ron.
You're welcome, thank you.
So you have to have this letter sent in by
The 11th,
the 11th.
Meeting's next Tuesday.
tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, right?
Right, correct. And, to me, this letter's coming from the city just to put on record that, something of this nature, that the city's against something that's a safety hazard. And then, tomorrow can just be as simple as, hey, this is what we've learned, and we want to let you guys be aware that it's out for public notice, and the city has concerns for the safety of the airport. There's no action being taken tomorrow, but more of a informative, informational type meeting or presentation, and then maybe come to the next meeting if any actions need to be taken.
Jeff, if I could, Nora Ryman was at those meetings with the county commissioners discussing a lot of that, so if you're gonna discuss it again tomorrow, she might be one that you might wanna call to be at that meeting, she might have something for you as well.
Nora?
Her son was one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was very, very passionate about it and did a lot of research and was at a lot of those meetings early on if you would discuss it. Since it's not on the agenda, it might be a good idea to give her a call. She has a lot of information. I'd be very happy to discuss it.
So how many of these wind towers would be in violation?
I'm not sure. I didn't dive into it too closely. There's 86 of them. Shayla just got the notice, shared the notice on Thursday last week. So I did put them, and I can share with you, the Google Earth image. I just threw, 15 of them or so into Google Earth and blew it up a little bit. And, they're scattered, just so everybody can see. The airport's here, and they're scattered along here. I drew a little line along, this is where the runway, the extended runway, and you can see, that there's a plan. They stayed a little bit away from the flight path, but they're not in the flight path. Like I said, there's 86. I just threw 15 to 20 in there. So.
But they're supposed to be farther than 2 miles from the flight path.
Yes, correct, to be
Okay.
But here's the airport. This is the runway center line, and these are a spattering of the
Is, and then it's still another 100
towers.
feet where the boat goes. That don't do you much good.
So we need a motion to approve this letter.
To have the mayor sign that, and then also if we have any volunteers to go with Brooke tomorrow to the commission.
I can probably do lunch at 1 tomorrow. Is anybody else's game too?
outside 2 miles of.
Who else is on that?
Who was it? You and I and Tammy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love the
Are you on the airport one
definitions
too?
of these
I sent you
acronyms.
that, I sent a text to each of you.
I got an email.
Yeah, did you get an email and a text?
Did you send it to me?
No, it was Susan, wasn't it? Did I, no, were you the one on the airport one? I can't.
Tammy's on it.
I wasn't on the airport.
Okay. You were on
I
the
think
other
Tammy and
one.
I and, is it you?
I don't think I'm on the airport committee.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Oh, you know what? I'll just look here real quick.
I say I've got it right here too. Yeah, Tammy and me and Jeff.
Okay.
Tammy's the lead on it.
Tammy,
Sure.
Jeff, and Mike.
They got one. Here, we got both.
We should have one, I don't know.
Well, I'll make a motion to have the mayor sign this letter and get that sent off.
Second.
Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing all ayes, motion carries. Volunteers to go to the county meeting tomorrow.
What time is that meeting?
1 o'clock.
I can.
I could go tomorrow at 1. Can you?
How many do you want to go, or?
I think just 2 from the
Okay.
airport committee would be
Okay.
fine. And Brooke,
That's at City Hall, correct?
At the courthouse.
At the courthouse.
That's what I mean,
Yes.
courthouse, sorry.
Yes. And I will be there. I'll do a little more research before then, now and then, on how many of the towers. They did just a generic public notice, so I'll see if I can figure out how many of the towers. It's not all of them. But I'll try and do a little more research before then and meet you there by 1 o'clock.
Perfect.
Thank you, Brooke.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything.
okay. Number 2, water and wastewater project. SPN invoices for phase 3, found on page 16 through 18.
I guess I would make a motion, we pay the SBN invoices phase 3 for $47,805.27.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. TLC Olson Construction payment number 16, found on page 19. Is this a change order or a bill?
This is a bill for the $431.
Okay, what am I missing?
The
For
next
the
thing's
$431,000.
$431,000.
It's a big difference.
Just a couple zeros.
I was like, did I miss something?
Like she said a lot
Right.
better.
I'll go with that one.
431, 520 and 40 cents.
Make a motion, we pay that bill.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to pay TLC Olson Construction LLC payment number 16. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Didn't forget to hit the gavel.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, people tell me when I do things wrong. Okay, phase 2. Drinking water
And clean
and
water.
clean water project completion documents. That's a lot of writing.
Mm-hmm.
These are just to close out the loan documents for the phase 2 project.
Seeding is the only thing that they're concerned about yet on that phase 2.
That's what I had concerns about, but Cameron didn't think it was such a big deal.
And these are closing the loans that we've drawn down 100% of both loans, so.
So I'd entertain to approve these documents.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Mayor, got to sign these?
Yes. These are two of the documents that resolution Ted was talking about would have covered. No, haven't that one done yet.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so we have number 3, page 24, first reading of ordinance number 733, fire hydrant meters. Okay, an ordinance amending chapter 38, section 29 of the ordinances of the city of Miller, South Dakota. Be it ordained by the city of Miller, South Dakota, that chapter 38 be hereby amended as follows. Section 38-29, meter installation and repair. Section B, portable fire hydrant meters shall be available for rent, and all the same rules set forth herein shall apply. C, the city council may hear and decide appeals where it is alleged there is an error in any order, requirement, decision, or determination made by an administrative official in the enforcement of this chapter or any ordinance adopted pursuant thereto, dated this first day of August, 2022.
Do we already have the portable fire hydrants?
The fire hydrant meters we do. So we always have people coming, construction crews want to use them, and we never had nothing set in stone on what we charge. So we kinda, Shayla and I looked at some other cities and drew something up for our city, and that's what we come up with. One of the deals is, well, when the wind towers come, and construction crews that need water for their building the roads and stuff, and that's something they need to put into their bids. So they need to have it set in stone, so
Sure.
when they put their bids out there, they're knowing what we're gonna charge them. You can't go over to the fire hall and stick quarters in for all the water they're gonna use.
Right.
You know, plan is to make concrete, like, how it was at all yet.
that we had guys that were burying all that cable and stuff, using them. That's why if something gets broke, we get paid for it.
There is a clause in there, if they bust the thing, they buy it.
Pretty much.
Part of chapter 38 has that in there. The only thing we changed in 38 basically was putting B, the portable fire hydrants, and moving B down to C, because that was already in there. But yes, that clause is in chapter 38 earlier.
Do you allow them to bring their own meters?
Plus, we get paid to put them on and take them off and all that kind of.
That's also part of that. It has to be a city, that's already in, earlier in the chapter, it has to be a city meter, and only the city employees can put it on and take it off. So this just kind of fit in with all the other meters. We just wanted to have a portable fire hydrant meter listed separate.
Any comments on that? We don't vote on that, do we?
Nope.
First reading. Move on to number 4. First reading of ordinance number 734, which sets apart the fees for said water meter. Are these new fees?
Yes. Well, the residential commercial is not just the fire hydrant, and then the fire hydrant meter fees are new. This is again where it fit into our ordinances, so we wanted to make the whole area flow properly.
Sure.
So,
So this basically sets out the fees for the water is $6 per 1,000 gallons with $125 a month minimum. Base fee is $4 per day. Installation and removal are both $30.
And a down payment of $500.
or deposit, yeah.
And a fire hydrant meter deposit $500.
We can bring in the building permit.
I think the building permits are down by 10
Right here.
here.
Did you see it? Oh, no.
We'll go down to number 6.
Can we vote on that?
First reading?
No.
Okay. Give me that.
Joe, did you see the,
No, give me that. Bills.
did you see the building permit, Joe?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so we'll go back to number 5 since these just landed here. We have a removal pit permit for the Catholic Diocese of Sioux Falls, taking down the St. Anne's Parish Center. Fee of $15 has been received in cash. All department heads have signed off. I'd entertain a motion to approve the building permit.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll move on to the DANR recognition for the city. Recognizing Terry Manning and Brandon Hamill for providing us clean, safe drinking water. Pages 26 and 27.
Attaboy, Terry.
Good job. Thank you.
Good job.
We'll have to get a picture with them and the mayor when he's able.
When he's able.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work. We don't want to end up like Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan.
What if you already have it?
Okay, we have a South Dakota Public Assurance Association election notice. Anyone wants to, jump on another board? Looks like there are 5 positions up for election, one of which I guess would be up for us, the hearing area.
There you go, Shayla, you should do one
That's okay.
Is that a nomination?
Signers?
Yep.
of them.
So no takers on that, huh?
Just you.
Maybe when all these projects are done, right now I've got enough on my mind. So,
Has everyone seen the bills?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we pay the bills.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, motion carries. I have one more thing I was gonna ask for department head reports. We got our signs yet.
I told the state, that's actually the state project, I
Okay.
told them to order them a long time ago, and I have no idea where they're at.
Do you know who we would contact to check on that?
I'd have to get hold of Rose, and he'd probably give me the right guy. It's been quite a while ago, he did say it was gonna be a while, and then I just kinda forgot about it, but somebody asked me about it a couple days ago, and I said, well, I told the guy, and he called me and said they're on their way. Or, I shouldn't say on their way, but they're in the process.
And signs are like,
The unmuffled engine brake.
well,
With a fine on them or something.
There's no fine on this.
Doesn't have a fine, I thought somebody said they were gonna get fined on it.
Was supposed to be a fine with
Yeah, I
that.
thought there was supposed to be a,
Should be. Can you, they'll get the little plate that goes below it?
Maybe it's a blade below it.
Yeah, I know, that's why most of them I've seen are that way.
Thing of it is, they shouldn't have to be put up. I mean, isn't it common sense? Really? Just at 5:15, I heard one rattle all the way before we stopped.
We hear them in front of our house all the time, don't we? Houses.
All night long, all day long.
well, I live probably a quarter mile from the highway and they rattle my house, you know?
Those dynamic brakes are loud.
Okay, if there's no other business to come before the council, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second, any discussion?
You guys must plan on mowing your yard today or something.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting adjourned at 7:39.
Ron, it's not that thing mowing the yard, it's what we do after we mow the yard.
that's record time.
Nice.
They found.
Really?
It's been a while since I got out of here this early.
Just got.
We had like a 4-hour one last week.
Bumper's the last one out, having to shut the lights on.
They had
Last
a
two
meeting
council meetings, I come in the morning, all the lights are on.
Really?
here. See if they can't maybe fix it tomorrow.
Trying
I
to
don't know
prevent
the last one out.
We're gonna try to beat